Hey guys, and welcome to the highly unanticipated Gone Bowling podcast. It's going to be a media and entertainment based podcast, music, movies, entertainment, media properties, a little bit of video games, even though that's not for everybody. But in the background, we're going to have some video games going because my monkey brain needs to be stimulated at all times. So I think talking while playing the video games will provide a nice flow for the conversation. And today, the video game we'll be playing is Overcooked. A very, very great game. Nice, fast-paced, really represents what a real kitchen's like, unfortunately. And they have a Overcooked 2 out. Very excited to play that. Very great game to play with friends. But for now, let's jump into it. I think we should start a new campaign, so we can get it from the beginning and see how good it actually is in a single player environment rather than playing with several people. So today, on our little docket of what we want to talk about on the podcast, we got so today is March 22nd. The movie Us has come out. Us, the thriller / horror movie directed by Jordan Peele. Very, very highly anticipated thriller by him after his follow-up movie for Get Out, as well as his sort of co-directed / project that he worked on together with Spike Lee regarding BlacKkKlansman. So I haven't seen too much about Us, aside from like the trailer or two, but I'm excited to watch this movie today. Whether I do do it with people or not, I think it'll be a nice, refreshing. He even said it on his own Twitter that it was going to be very much a horror movie, maybe not so much as psychological as Get Out was going to be. So I'm excited for it. I'm not a big fan of horror, but if something is made nice, then anybody can enjoy it, right? Like, I might not like country music, but if a country song really slaps, then why would I not listen to it? Oh man, looks like the town is burning down and falling apart because of this giant meat boy. Oh jeez. Dude, it's the Pastafarian god himself. Well, since we're talking about Jordan Peele, let's go talk about Get Out. Dude, Get Out, great movie. This is a big spoiler alert time. So we gotta pick up ingredients, chop them up. Oh no. So it looks like I am gonna have to swap between chefs for this game, which is very scary. Maybe this won't be the best. Oh, I am gonna have to switch chefs. Ooh, that's gonna take up all of my brain power, and who knows what'll happen for then. Back to Us. Us seems like a great movie, and I am excited. I was excited to watch it because I had heard so much about it without really seeing much to begin with. The big twist for the movie, very, very interesting. I did not see it coming. I don't think pretty much anybody who saw the movie saw it coming. Very creative choice in art direction as well. I like the sort of nice, quiet setting that they chose for the main character and his girlfriend's family to live, as well as like the sort of drive to and from, because it just added to the stress and anxiousness that you get once the film starts developing. Oh man, this meatball is very hungry. Oh, I should probably go. Oh no. I should probably go get more. Stop. Get some more veggies and stuff for him to chop. And it's gonna be a hard to play game. Let's see. Are there any other movies that I was super excited to see this year? I don't know. I am super excited. Oh, actually, there are 2 other movies that I'm super excited to see this year. Well, one immediately comes to mind. I think the name of the movie was called Good Boys. I think it's directed, or it's like there's a creative direction from Seth Rogen, because I remember the preview I saw for the movie It's like, oh, from the people who brought you Sausage Party. I'm like, oh. Sausage Party wasn't. It was like an okay movie, a little too vulgar, a little too edgy for me, but it was a nice chuckle for me and my friends on. What was that? Probably like 2005. Not 2005, 2015 movie. But this new movie is called. I think it's called Good Boys. It's about these just young kids doing what young kids probably do. They do naughty things behind their parents' back, and they're not as innocent as it might seem. I think that it opened up with just the kids at a lunch table just talking about a bunch of nothing, swearing, a bunch of dirty things that they do, even though they're younger kids. So it's a nice antithesis, I think that's how you use that word, of how kids act versus how you think they act. And the whole premise of the movie seems like it's going to be, man, these kids have gotten themselves into trouble and are doing bad things or raunchy things and trying to figure it out. I think judging by the preview trailer, it looks like the kids meet up with someone to I think they get on a dating app and they end up getting catfished. But then they meet these girls in a park and they get into a fight and steal the girls' bags or their purse. And in the purse is some Molly. If you don't know what Molly is, it's a drug of sorts. And so the kids are trying to figure out how to. Oh, and I think then the purse gets stolen, and so it's like, oh man, you got the drug aspect, you got the stealing aspect of the movie of the kids trying to escape police or any sort of conflict. I'm sort of excited to see that movie. It's on my sort of radar. The other movie that I recently put on my radar, I don't remember the name of the movie, but it's about these two high school girls that just got into college, and they're talking about how, man, we didn't do enough in high school because we followed the rules, and we're super mad that we followed the rules because all the kids who didn't follow the rules or did all the bad things still made it into college. Like one of the quotes from the kids that made it into the college, despite being a not so outstanding citizen, is like, yeah, I did get an 1860 on my SAT, but I also know how to suck a mean dick. And I'm like, oh geez, I didn't see that one coming. But it seems like it's gonna be like a sort of coming of age tale about some girls who really were responsible in their high school lives and finally want to reach out. Let's see, another. Those are the only two movies on my radar. Oh, dirty plates need to be washed in the sink. Ugh, this is maybe a little too involved. Let's see. What else can we talk about today? Oh yeah, so for Get Out, the movie that I was excited to watch for the first time a while ago, I watched it in a very peculiar place. It wasn't your standard movie theater. There's this building located close to where I live called the Rights Union, and every Friday they have this event called Gator Nights where they put on a free movie for all the students who come to attend the event. And the movie that they ended up playing one night many moons ago was Get Out, and I was excited to see it because a bunch of my friends were sort of raving about it, and I was excited to see what people really loved about it. Like, it wasn't, I didn't really have any expectations for it going in, except, you know how people are always like, oh, people always want a movie to be good, and they hype you up and then you get let down. I definitely did not feel that with that movie. That movie was banging. Had the right amount of humor, to thriller, to slash unexpected twist. Oh, man, I don't think I'm gonna be able to play this game by myself. Oh no, my soup is burning. Usually you can just tell people to go do things and it gets done. Yeah, this bad boy chopping. Oh no, it's not done yet. Yeah, dude, that Rights Union building, very pretty architecturally. Like, it's got a nice 3 or 4 story atrium, that you can grand sort of staircase that lets people really get a feel for the openness of the building. It also has a nice food court. Oh, dude, food courts are a big scam. Like, food courts, yeah, in essence, yeah, you want a food court, so when people are visiting your building or whatever, they can eat food. But half the time, food courts suck because they're never the best version of the food. Like, you always have, like, Chick-fil-A Express. I was going to say Panda Express, but that doesn't work. Like, Panda Express. Or, and in this case, Chick-fil-A isn't in the rights union, but Panda Express is. And it's like, Wendy or Papa John's Express. And they don't have all the menus that you want, or the deals, or just items that you want to eat when you go to these restaurants typically. And that sucks. And also, you don't get any of the cool advertised deals. For example, Wendy's, very much known for their 4-for-4 deal of like, you got your 4 individual pieces of French fry, sandwich thingy, chicken nuggets, and drink. However, they don't have the 4-for-4 at the Rights Union and Wendy's, which is a little frustrating because I was kind of excited for it when I started going to college, because I'm like, oh man, this is like almost a perfect. Oh no, my food. Chef, no, pick it up, chef. Okay. Oh no. All right, let's just give this one a restart. You would think stuff like that doesn't happen often in our kitchen, and it doesn't. But you always feel like it will. Oh man, the other one started with tomatoes before. Let's see. But yeah, not having the 4-for-4 kind of sucks. And then there was a Chick-fil-A somewhere else I've seen where it's a Chick-fil-A Express, and they didn't have breakfast, and I was excited to taste Chick-fil-A breakfast one day, so I got up in the morning, went to the Chick-fil-A, it's like, oh, sorry, we don't serve breakfast. It's like, what do you mean you don't serve breakfast? I came here, I have my money, doesn't capitalism say I should get it? Anyway, that sucks. Let's see. Any other qualms for Express? Yeah, and I feel like, even though it's not explicitly stated, these Express places, they cost more money. Like, I feel like last year or so, I went on a trip, traveling from my hometown up to somewhere else in Florida, and we stopped at a rest stop, and there was I just smacked that guy out the way. And there was a KFC Express, and I got like some chicken tenders and some potato wedges, and after getting both of those, it was like, that'll be like $8. It's like, what do you mean that's $8? It's like hardly even a meal. So just know, buying food is a scam, and you should never do it unless you're really hungry or lazy, and then that's your own fault. Let's see. Speaking of food courts, mall food courts, what's up with those? They always have the same awkward, weird restaurants that you never see anywhere else, like Charlie's or like, I don't know, just weird food. And there's always like a bunch of Asian food places. Like the big mall by me, it's got like at least 3 different Asian food places that all serve the same sort of menu. It's like, oh, we got this hibachi area, and we also got some teriyaki thingy. It's like, all right, well, what makes you different than any other competitor? It's like, we got different rice. If that's all you got to diversify your product, man, you're losing. Oh man, I'm not managing these chefs properly. One place is always a safe go-to for mall food courts? McDonald's. McDonald's, no complaints from McDonald's. McDonald's, not great company, however, tasty food. Actually, how bad is McDonald's? I know people are saying Wendy's is bad because of, I think, farming practices, like the producers they get their produce from, is the most outstanding. Oh, my guy's getting pushed. Come on, little chef. Oh, dude, speaking of little chef, how about Ratatouille? Now that is a good cooking movie. Anthony Bourdain himself, I think it was Anthony Bourdain. I think Anthony Bourdain himself said that it was the best non-cooking cooking movie. Well, cooking movie there is with the nuances of French cooking and working in a restaurant. And I never really appreciated it until my friends called me a rat, and then also I started working in a kitchen. Like it's just like the things that they talk about in reference to a kitchen are so comparable to an actual kitchen, which would probably explain why Anthony Bourdain loved it so much. Like some of the things that they talked about, like the way how Colette was always sort of like not even just Colette, but the entire kitchen staff for the restaurant was sort of high-strung and very quirky and had a very questionable past. I would say that's very comparable to an actual restaurant. For example, well, I wouldn't say we have any questionable or quirky pasts here in my restaurant, but I don't know, just the way that people act and the way they present themselves in a restaurant just reminds me so much of Ratatouille. And the way the chefs use their knives or work their stations in Ratatouille, super interesting and super comparable to a kitchen. 10 out of 10, would watch the movie again and then cook some food like a Ratatouille. You know what? I should go buy some tomatoes today and some peppers and stuff that goes into it and make a Ratatouille for myself. I know the Ratatouille in the movie Ratatouille isn't actually your typical Ratatouille, but rather a variant of it. I think the real one is kind of more similar to what the food critic had for himself when he was a kid, compared to compared to what Remy served. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to play this game by myself. Alright, well, since we won't be able to play this by ourselves, let's take a look at what other games we can play. That's sort of mindless. Yeah, I couldn't pass level 3 by myself? Come on. And I call myself a gamer. Ooh. Let's see. Something else that really has piqued my interest lately has been going around to around where I live, checking out some of the retail spaces that I never really go to. Like, you see places called Ross, Trader Joe's, Pier 1 Imports, but have you really ever been inside one of them? Because I know I haven't. So I spent a good 4 hours yesterday just window shopping, walking around, seeing what those places have, and man, it is interesting, some of the things that these places carry. Actually, let's see what game we're going to play today. You know, I was thinking about playing it or not playing it. We're going to play some Portal. Portal definitely sounds like a pretty good game to be playing today. Oh no, I didn't test any of the audio. This is a bad idea. Ooh, I hope it's not playing. End task. You know, while I sort this audio sound, let's go to coolmath.com. Those are some easy, don't need to uninstall, probably good, simple games to entertain. Ooh, let's start by playing some 2048. 2048 is probably a nice mindless game where I could talk. Let's see, what restaurant or what retail location was I thinking of? Meh, doesn't matter. For example, Pier 1 Imports. Do you even know what's in there? Because I didn't. It was mostly furniture. I've been on the market for a chair for my living room. Or not my living room, for my room itself. So if I ever have guests and we want to sit around and watch something on the TV, rather than everybody sitting in my desk chair or like on my bed, we have an actual place to sit. And I want something sort of foldable, so I don't have to consume a bunch of space in my room. However, finding that chair, the specific chair I'm looking for, has been a lot harder than I thought. I saw this other really nice chair at Pier Imports that looks like it's supposed to be outside because I had like this bamboo frame with this big red cushion. It's like just enough space that you can really sink into it and like sprawl out. However, I asked the lady that I was looking for a price tag, and there was none. So I asked one of the people that was working there, And I was like, hey, what's this price on this thing? She's like, oh, it's $130. I'm like, $130 for a chair. Man, now I understand why adults are so broke, even though they have jobs. Stuff is expensive for, I wouldn't say no reason, but a sad reason. So I almost thought about buying that chair because I was like, oh man, I really want this. And it's exactly what I'm looking for. And it's right in front of me right now. Let's add some browser capture. Oh no, this is not good. OBS Studio. Remove. Let's see, what else appear imports did I see? Yeah, there's just a bunch of chairs and a bunch of sort of outdoor furniture. So if I ever had a nice house with a patio or something, maybe with a little indoor fireplace or somewhere I could fit like a dining table, Pier 1 Imports is definitely the way to go. I had also never been to a Trader Joe's. It's like, whoa, Trader Joe's? How have you never been to Trader Joe's? In my understanding, it's like a more affordable Whole Foods. I didn't completely get that feeling when I went into the establishment. However, that might have been a misguided assumption, since nobody had ever told me it. Went in, walked around, saw all the cool stuff. I wanted to check out their herbs and stuff because I wanted to make a dish with a bunch of basil in it. And last time I bought basil, it was like super expensive and sort of deterred me from ever using fresh herbs again. So I went to their like wet wall of all their herbs and stuff. And they had tons of it except for basil. They had thyme, they had dill, they had saffron, they had sage, they had it all. Like, what else could you ask for? But no basil. So, my tomato basil soup looks like it'll have to be put on hold a little bit longer. Speaking of hold a little bit longer, I need some more brain filler. Let's go window capture. Let's see. Is it capturing my Chrome? Oh, it's not. Ugh, this is frustrating. I wish I had known Overcooked was gonna be a little too hard. You know, let's just go with like display capture. Okay, pick that. Let's see if I can crop it. I doubt I can. Alright, let's see. Do I have anything bad and revealing on my desktop? Oh, ignore that bowling ball tab I had. No need to see where I got my sources for stuff. Alright, let's go with that. That doesn't seem too bad. Let's play some 2048. I remember playing this game a bunch in high school, just sort of whacking away at it, wasting my time in my math class doing this instead of studying. I always liked math, and math was sort of easy to me, so I was able to sort of play this game uninterrupted while other people cried and struggled in math class. I felt bad for them. This game and like Flappy Bird really took off for like no reason, except for like, oh, it's hard and it takes up my time. For example, like remember a game like Subway Surfer? Wild. That was a nice one that took up a bunch of people's time. I never played it because I was never much for like phone games, except for Balloons Tower Defense. You ever played one of those? Great game. It really helps pass the time. Those tower defense games, they really like the incremental. Oh no, I soiled it. The incremental building nature of tower defense games really is what appeals to me. Like, have you ever played? There's this one a long time ago that I played on like Armor Games when I was in like elementary school. It was where you had to defend a picnic table from a bunch of ants because they were trying to get the cake. I think the game was like Defend the Cake or something like that. Oh, I sold it. And so you built these little towers that would like shoot at ants whenever they tried to come steal your cake. Oh, dude, we saved it. and the way you could like sort of upgrade the towers or like go into different like special trees for the tower and like build them up a certain way. Super interesting. Always caught my attention. Oh no, sorry, no, saved. That was a super interesting tower defense game. Speaking of games you played as a kid in like school, what was the best free goof off video game website in your school? In elementary school, hands down, I think for everybody, it had to be Cool Math Games. It was like, it's got math in the name. You got to be able to play it at school. What do you hate math? What are you, a cop? Only cops hate math. Actually, no, there's a lot of people that don't like math. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure the teachers never enjoyed us playing video games whenever we went to the computer lab. But Cool Math, man, that was the way to go. Ooh, I need to navigate very carefully. Some silence while I focus. Ooh, 512, easy peasy. This is where the boys are separated from men. That's sexist. Some other great places to play video games. Oh, what was the one? I don't think it was like called like Fun Games or what it was called, but there was this one like ongoing like saga thing of I think I bricked myself. All right, let's try it again. Where you were like this stick person, and you were jumping around, and you were adventuring, trying to. There was like this map where you were just like following a map to see what was at the end of it. I think the theme for it is like the stick person probably had like a girlfriend. That's probably what. That's how most media properties do it. It's like, oh, save this person's girlfriend. I remember it was such like they were almost like storytelling, and they had cliffhangers and everything. And oh no, and I was like, everybody was always super excited anytime the stick figure guy like story was updated, because the website didn't have all parts to the story. They only had certain parts to it, and I guess they updated it over time. And as a part of updating it over time, like everything wasn't available at once. And so every week or two we'd be checking the website being like, oh, did they update the stick guy story? See, with cool new platformy sort of level thing. But I think now if you ever go to the website, I think the website has changed a lot, so like that thing isn't even available anymore. But in between the period of it getting properly updated versus it not getting updated at all, the stick guy story was left off with just I think it left off with him jumping off a cliff to like save his girlfriend, and then there was it's like, oh, he's jumping onto the boat, and then there's a shark that eats him, or like you think it's gonna eat him, but that's the cliffhanger because you don't know if he gets eaten. So then it's like, oh no, what's gonna happen? And then so we basically as kids we were given blue balls by some company because we didn't see if the stick guy lived from being eaten by a shark. I need to do some research to find out what the game that was, because man, that took up a bunch of my childhood. Ooh. What video game area? I'm just talking about video games for a while. Probably should stop doing that. It's not hashtag relatable enough. Let's see, what else did I have on my list of stuff to talk about? How was the week? The week was good. It was a lot colder than I was expecting. However, it was not bad. And I applaud Mother Nature for not making it terrible. Because sometimes I have to walk to work, and walking in the cold with the wind on my face, not very fun. Also, I soiled it. Also, waiting for the bus in the cold, equally not fun. Like the way the wind just blows on your face, dries out everything that you've ever stood for, and just really is sad. Like, I'm not one for, I am one for personal hygiene, but I was never great at using chapstick because I was like, oh, it makes my lips feel funny. And I'll just choose the chaotic neutral option of just licking them. That'll moisturize them. Don't take that advice. That is an easy way to really hurt yourself. Much like me, I think. Oh. Ah. So, new best. That's pretty good. Let's see. Speaking of elementary school, did you guys in elementary school have oh no, I want this. Have computer labs? Mine did. We had to go out of like the building that like my class was in. It was over by the administration side. There's just a room filled with computers. I am so glad I was exposed to that as a kid, and now am technologically literate. Because some people I know, even my age, like are like, technology is scary. Edison is a witch, kind of about tech, and the only thing that they know how to operate is like their iPhone, sort of, and like Microsoft Word. Other than that, they're like, what's this? I also pity the people that only use Apple products because often I feel so bad because anytime friends need help with their digital needs, it's like, oh, how do I like move this file? I'm like, oh, sure, I can help you with that. I know some stuff. And then it's Mac, and Mac is super limiting, and honestly, is it user friendly? Is it really user friendly? Probably. User friendly enough that people still use it. But I don't think it's user friendly enough. I think it is not good. And people should get Windows machines instead. Because I know Windows machines and I think they're great. They're just neat. Like March. Let's see. So what are some other really good technology things that have come up? Whatever happened to Google Glass? I know Google Glass was sort of hyped up, but did anybody ever actually wear them except for influencers? I know the Snapchat spectacles like exist for real people, but did Google Glass exist for real people? I don't think so. What other tech that just seemed to have disappeared? Ooh, that self-automated Amazon store where you could just walk in, the cameras would detect everything that you do, and then it could add them to a cart. And so when you walk out, it just charges your Amazon account rather than having to actually pay for anything. Whatever happened to those? I think that's some sort of cool pop science that I wish came to fruition, because that sounds kind of convenient, being able to just walk into anywhere to get what you need. Right now I'm just doing damage control. Ooh, ooh, E. There we go. Ooh, Oh no, I didn't see that part working. That's unfortunate. Let's see, Google Glass, Amazon self-buying thingy. I'm glad electric cars or self-driving cars are on the come up. It really helps the market of people that don't know how to drive, like me. I know that is a small market, people that don't know how to drive, and it is biased of me to say that is a valuable market because people often do drive, always. But I digress. Let's see, other pop science. I guess that Mars rover, I think it was Discovery or Curiosity, recently passed in it being unable to. I think it got wiped away by a sandstorm. Very unfortunate and sad timing. But man, I think it was running for like a good 40 years, and that's wild to me that they sent something out 40 years ago. It just roamed like Mars and collected data. Very interesting, because I felt like anything that was sent out 40 years ago, it's like, oh yeah, I can count to 10 and I can tell you how much humidity is in the air. Like I'm always surprised by old tech and how how functional it is. Like some sort of old tech that I'm running into often is air conditioning. Air conditioning is super, I wouldn't say tech involved, but interesting because it's like, oh, look, these modern air conditioners have all these tabs and things and stuff that let you control the air. But it's like, if you think about old air conditioners, how do they do any of that? It's like, oh, I have a. You tell me to be on or off, and then I'm on or off. Oh, look at that collapse we just made. But yeah, anytime I'm talking to people that actually know what they're talking about for air conditioning, I'm always fascinated about all the things that air conditioners could do before you had to connect them to your router. You know what I'm sick of today? The things that you need to connect to the internet for no particular reason. Like, why do I have to connect my TV to the internet to, like, if I ever want anything to actually happen to it? I just want... I'm so over this. It's oh, no, I've bricked it, so now I have to press up. Alright. I'm tired of these smart TVs. I want a dumb TV. I just want to be able to connect my input and start watching Hulu. Or connect an HDMI cord, and then it starts working. But no, that doesn't happen anymore. Instead, we got advertising on my TV. The last place I want to see it. Like, I know big advertising wants it, I guess. But I'm just sick and tired of seeing ads literally everywhere. Like, I guess it's a functional way to get money for whatever platforms you so choose. However, sorry for the silence. I need to focus. Hey. Oh. Ah. Oh. Look at that. Clear. Yeah, so ads everywhere sucks. Smart TVs suck. Why would anybody want those? I guess being able to connect your Hulu or Netflix without having to actually do anything, and you can just like connect it to the internet first, sounds convenient. But I don't know, man. Seeing ads in the banner ads on my own television, it's pretty lame. Let's see, what else is smart that doesn't need to be smart? How will businesses have a rewards program or an app? It's like, why do you have that? Are you trying to get like customer engagement up? I guess customer engagement being up is nice, but it's just so many things I need to check my email to. So many things I have to. Oh no, I bricked it again. Like, everything needs its own email address now. Like, I have 4 different emails just because there's so much to filter through. And then I have to press, like, no, I don't want to receive any more offers. Because, like, you sign up for one thing, and then you get 20 emails a day. It's like, oh, look at this promotion that's actually not a promotion, just going to suck you over all of your money. Oh, man, I'm tired of seeing those things in my inbox. I almost have a joy of pressing unsubscribe from those things that clutter my inbox, because companies who spam my inbox suck, and they need to go out of business. I was close. I was really getting there. I think that's like 4 times my highest score. What else sucks? If you haven't have an email for everything. Like, for example, some of the retail that I was exploring yesterday when I bought this microphone was Best Buy. I don't make very many Best Buy purchases in a year, but they're like, oh, you want to join the rewards program? It's like, well, I come to you like twice a year for the same thing both times. Why would I want a rewards program? But then I was a sucker, and I ended up going to their establishment more than once in like a 3-week period. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll sign up for your rewards program, but I don't even know what sort of benefits or rewards they even offer. Like, is it even good? Is it even worth it? Or are you just stealing my data so you can make a complete customer profile of me and then give me targeted advertisements so I buy more things? Maybe that's why I bought more things in a short period of time. They're already on to me. Please give me your information, advertising majors. I really need to know. Am I subjected to this future of peril and despair? I'm talking to you at Joaquin or any business major persons. Oh, he's not even a business major. He's like a marketing or advertising. Man, I should really know what my friends are doing on paper. Let's see. Some other retail that has a rewards program, but it's like, why? Publix. Actually, I don't think Publix is good. They don't have a rewards program. If they had a rewards program, it's like, hey, if you buy this many Publix subs and you get a chicken tender sub for free, I'd be down on that. But if it's like, oh yeah, for every like $100 you spend, you get like a chicken tender sub, I'd still do it. I'd still make the account because I eat enough stuff from there that it's like probably worth it. But that's not a very good conversion rate. Well, no, it is a sort of good, but not good. Now that I like really think about it, conversion rate. There's this place by me called Menchie's where they serve frozen yogurt, and frozen yogurt has now become my favorite over traditional ice cream because it's cheaper, usually, and you get to pick toppings and stuff, also at a cheaper rate. And their promotion is like for every like $40 you spend, you get $5 off your next purchase. But when you combine it with this other deal that they have where it's like, oh, on Tuesdays you can fill up your container with as much as you want and it'll always be $5. You take a small investment to get up that free $5, and then you go in on that $5 for anything you want day, and you just load it up, and then you get a ton of stuff for free. It's 200 IQ. Why would you ever get anything else aside from frozen yogurt? Ooh, speaking of sweets, man, I need to stop myself from eating them because I am ruining my life extremely quickly by consuming so much of it. Like, now that I'm an adult and can make my own purchases rather than being like, Mom, can you like go to the store to get this thing? I found myself buying a lot more sweets and junk food than I obviously should. And it is really taking a damper on my life. Like, for example, you know how when kids, raise money for school, for it's like, oh, I'm on the basketball team and we're saving money for states, or hey, I'm a safety patrol and we want to go to Washington, D.C. They sell candy bars and they have that big container of candy bars. I basically bought something like that. It was a container of like 20 candy bars, and the conversion rate came out to like 30 cents a bar rather than your traditional like $1 and change if you were to buy it like on demand at the grocery store. That rate is just so good, but it's like I spent a bunch of money on candy. I'm going to die soon. So that's your dang too real thing for the day. Another thing that I bought because I had the money and I like sugar is fudge rounds. Like Little Debbie, man, she makes some quality pastries, but they do not come at very please excuse my swearing. But they do not come at quality price points. Like, it's like, oh yeah, something I really wanted were some honey buns. You know how much a thing of honey buns cost? It was like $3 for like 8 honey buns. It's like, I'll eat 2 of them in like a sitting because I want it. That is not a good conversion rate. That's like 60 cents. Basically, I eat like 4 things, and then it's like, oh, where'd they all go? And then it's just a waste of money. But buying, as earlier stated, buying food is a scam and a waste of money. Speaking of scams, Ed, Edd n Eddy, when we were a kid, very good entertainment. Like, I want to say the Ed, Edd n Eddy Big Picture Show, which was their sort of made-for-TV movie, very, very good. I wouldn't say cinematography, because I don't know much about cinema or photography, but the way they sort of have a cold open and like take a second to set the mood for the scene versus what you typically see, which is the Eds getting into some trouble with your sound effects and stuff, was a really good artistic choice because it really helps set up the tone for the movie. It's like, oh, the Eds have really messed up this time, and it's so much more serious than any other scam they've ever done. And it just made you really appreciate the sort of art form that Ed and Eddie had. Another great thing that Ed and Eddie has done was the way, in that movie in particular, well, not that movie in particular, just the series in general, is the way they almost remodernized slapstick comedy. Like, if you think, what are the big players in slapstick comedy? Like Tom and Jerry? That seems about, it comes to mind. Just like, I guess Tom and Jerry, Looney Tunes, all those bad boys. I would say pioneered slapstick comedy. But Ed and Eddie is a great example of modern slapstick that deserves praise because it is a good. Oh, look at this! Oh, baby, 10/24. Yeah, because if you think about it, what other media property does slapstick or that sort of entertainment well? Nothing. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a sucker for Ed and Eddie. See, what was the superior network when we were kids? Was it would you say it's the old school Nickelodeon, the old school Disney, or the old school Cartoon Network? I want to say old school Nickelodeon was pretty good. Like, you got your Danny Phantoms, like My Life as a Teenage Robot, really good. Zoe 101. Man, that just makes me want to go do stuff. Like, you know what? Zoe 101 was a pretty accurate, I wouldn't say accurate, but a pretty decent representation. Oh no, I think I lost here. No, I didn't. It was a pretty accurate representation, not of a boarding school, but how college life was like. They were all super sort of casual, walking around, going to stuff. Because I think they were supposed to be in like high school or like middle school or something like that. But, you know, TV is never really good at depicting school in a realistic environment. Like, when it was a good show that it didn't depict school well, but it depicted school funnily, was Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. I need to sort of go back and review what tips and tricks Ned may have given that really impacted my life today. Like, did he ever have one about, like, eating food or spending money? Ooh, the episode that comes to mind right now, I wouldn't say is relevant, but is interesting, was the day I think it was the janitor and, like, some female teacher who were like, we want to improve the bathroom. And the female leader was like, we want to improve the girls' bathroom by, like, improving something nice about it, or like something sensible. And the guys were like, we want a hot tub. And so they have a car wash to raise money to improve either the men or women's bathroom to get the hot tub or general improvements. And then the guys, they were super behind in the sort of car washing race versus the girls. And it's like, what are we going to do? We got to pull out all the stops. How are we going to wash so many cars so quickly? And then it cuts to them, like, doing, like, Ultra Instinct / like, super slow-mo, like, motion blur moves. And they wash a bazillion cars in, like, 2 seconds. And then they're like, how did you do it so fast? It's like, we're just that good. But then they realize, it's like, oh, they just put water on it and wipe dirt around rather than actually cleaning it. So then the girls ended up winning, which was the more sensible thing. But that reminds me of how people operate today. They operate too fast and don't get the job done right. And are like, oh, what do you mean you figured out what we did and you aren't happy about it? Like, man, I wouldn't say privacy scandal, but privacy, so important, so interesting, and big companies love to steal your, not steal your privacy, but invade upon it for somewhat malicious, somewhat innocent reasons. For example, Facebook, I wouldn't say is malicious, but is malicious. Just targeted advertisements. I sound like an old person. It's like, all these targeted advertisements and them giving me a personalized experience. Why can't I just go back to the days where I saw a billboard for cigarettes and started smoking them? The way companies sort of just take your information and then sell it to other companies to make your life worse, very unfortunate. Like, something that has definitely ruined my, well, not ruined my life, but made my life more annoying because of these, of these targeted advertisements, sort of, is all these robocalls. Like, please stop with the robocalls. Like, I don't need to answer my phone 7 times a day from a phone number that matches my phone number exactly to the first 4 digits. It's like, I can tell it's a scam because nobody else has that phone number except for me, sort of. And it's even worse when it says unknown caller. It's like, well, I don't know if it's an actual phone call, or when it says unknown phone caller, is it just someone? I guess if it's an unknown phone caller, it's usually always bad. Because then it could just be, it's like, oh look, it's someone *60 you, or whatever, that thing that lets you hide your voice over IP. I think that's what that's. I guess caller ID. What is caller ID? Is caller ID voice over IP? I think it is. It might not be. But yeah, I even installed apps on my phone to help sort of curtail all this robocalling. Hasn't stopped. FCC hasn't done much to stop all this robocalling nonsense, and it's getting a little frustrating. Woo! Clean. Look at that 1024. Man, I got a strategy going. Yeah, I think it was called, the app I had was called Hiya, Hiya, and it did a pretty good job at filtering out robocalls and stuff like that. But then they went for the freemium sort of business model. It's like, oh yeah, we'll give you we'll protect your phone, but now it'll cost money. So you can either go with the free worse service, or you can give us money and get a different service. It's like, can't you just give me what I want for free? It's not that hard. I know the reason why people go into business is to make a profit, but come on. It's just sad, all the nonsense we have to go through to be consumers. That's where you're like, haha, that's what you get for liking capitalism. It's like, man, you're right. But at the same time, capitalism ain't so bad. It's bad on many occasions, and people definitely get punished by it because it basically says oh, your worth is tied to how much money you can spend. It's so it only works. Capitalism only works if you think about. It's if I feel like I can work and earn as much money as in my life that I want, then technically you can go wherever you want with capitalism, but not the same cannot be said for everybody. Therefore, is an unfortunate circumstance of the current economic climate that we live in. Let's see, robocalls, capitalism, man. Let's see. Oh, anyone else starts all these robocalls? All those free trial sort of rewards programs that you sign up with all these places that you shop at. I'm so tired of signing up for something, and then it's all right, you're gonna start getting 2 emails a week from us, 2 emails a week from the advertising agencies that we sold your information to. You're also gonna get a phone call from someone whose list that you accidentally ended up on because you were deemed a qualified buyer. And then have a nice day. Thank you for shopping at Lululemon. I don't shop there. I don't even know what they sell. I think it's clothing. Ooh, well, no, it seems like a very attractive clothing purchasing model. I think the name of the company was called Trunk Club. You basically, they had this online store of clothing where you could purchase. No, you didn't purchase. Oh, the whole gimmick to it is that you didn't actually purchase anything, and that you ordered a box of clothing that you wanted. And you got to try on, test out whatever you wanted before you actually bought it. And then once you were sold on what you wanted, you could say, "Hey, I'm going to keep these," and they'll charge you for what you keep. And then I soiled it. Or did I? I still probably soiled it. They charge you based on what you keep, not just for the sake of ordering it and then having to return it. So I mean, I guess they force you to return it, because if you don't return it, they'll just charge you for it. That was an interesting business model that had caught my attention and almost caught my dollar. Because at one point I was in the market for a nice set of clothing, because my wardrobe was very stale. Like I was never much of a nice dresser when I was younger. Like I think for a majority of my freshman year of high school, and even into the sophomore year of high school, I wore like exclusively cargo shorts. Those are the dark ages of my wardrobe, and I should be thankful that I got out of it alive. Let's see. Let's see, what other sort of high school trends do I remember? Oh, you guys remember silly bands? Those were a hot commodity. I remember down the street from my middle school, I remember that was the time when silly bands were really popular. There was this like bodega, I wouldn't really call it a bodega, but it was like a dollar store / thing. And I didn't go to like the nicest of middle school, and there was lots of kids that did very not nice things. And they would go to this dollar store, and they would go and steal silly bands, and then have like a black market silly band trading ring on campus. It's like, man, you kids are savage. Those are people with businesses and lives. You're just stealing from them. But they're kids, so game over. Well, let's see. We got 3 minutes left. I think we got time for one more little sesh. But yeah, they would just take the silly bands, steal them, and then go trade them for the more hot commodity silly bands in the class. I remember the class it was in. We were in like this computer lab class, where it was basically a Florida virtual school class, but in real life, in class. Seems a little silly now that you think about it. It's like, why would you have them take Florida virtual school class in real life? Isn't that what teachers are for? But yeah, they would just come to the computer lab class, and they would start talking about their silly bands. They would start trading them, and then you could tell what were actual authentic silly bands versus like the knockoff ones, because the actual silly bands were like made of like a thinner material, and all the knockoff ones were all thick and gross. I never got into it because I didn't have money to spend on it, and that was like sort of the price. I wouldn't say price point for it, but you needed to be able to buy silly bands to get into the silly band economy. One thing I did, however, do that was very much illegal, or is it illegal? Yeah, it's probably illegal, and against the rules in middle school, was I used to sell soda in the morning. I wasn't that kid that's like, oh, I got candy, chips, soda, all of you to buy in the at school. I just had soda because I am a fan of Mountain Dew. And I remember one day I brought like 2 cans to school, and my friend's like, hey, can I buy one? I'm like, sure. And then the next day I brought 2 more because I wanted to bring them to him, and then he kept buying them. And then I had other friends that wanted to buy soda, so then I unintentionally just started selling soda. And I was able to sell an entire 12-pack a day of soda. And I would sell them for like $1 a can, which is like a reasonable price. But, oh no, I bricked it. But if you think about it, the economy for buying a soda like that is so great for if you're the supplier. Like if you think about it, a 12-pack of soda costs like $4-ish. And if I sell a can at $1 price point, then I'm making like $7 per can. And TLDR, that's how I was able to afford my Call of Duty video game addiction for a majority of my 7th and 8th grade year of high school. Just buying soda, selling it, making money, and then being able to buy whatever media properties I wanted. Capitalism rules. Well, that's the hour mark. Let me know what you guys think about it. I'll probably find a better game that doesn't completely involve all of my brain power, like Overcooked. And I'll probably try Portal again once I adjust the audio and make it right. But for now, thanks for tuning in to the Bowling Alley. I'm Daniel, and I'll see you later.